I think this one has a real chance to be Slosh's. I think it will be Slosh's best team.
Well, hey, friends. TexAgs Rewind, David Nuño here with everybody. That's what we do on Fridays. Nick reminded me. People can say hi. Justin, don't hide. Come on, say hi. Today's show, interesting on multiple accounts. It became a Texas history lesson. What was the name of the last name that I did not know, which I was not alone?
Charles Goodnight.
Charles Goodnight. Learned about his history. Nick's dad actually texted the show. Lonesome Dove was based on his life. Am I right there, Nick? Yeah. You can yell. Yep. Okay. So I apologize not knowing that. We also talked about Kay made this little beautiful picture right here. There it is. Nuño's victims on basketball. I am not a good basketball player. I would love to do some MMA with everybody that we did play basketball against and see how that goes. But what was your favorite part of the show?
Probably the baseball bunch. Happy to A&M's season's back in the swing of things.
Kay? Kay was great. Zoe?
Kay.
I don't even know what else was on the show, but it was great. We did talk some hoops. We talked some baseball. We talked to Billy Liucci. And, of course, Olin Buchanan thinks he can guard me. Not going to happen. It's the rewind.
Is it the bizarre world of college football? Like, Texas is in the SEC now. Oklahoma is in the SEC. USC's in the Big Ten. Nick Saban is no longer around. Like, there's all these things that are happening. The college football playoffs is now how many teams? 12? So, it's completely different world, right?
Yeah.
And with all the changes that most rosters have, it is almost impossible to pick wins for a team.
It's difficult.
And to be accurate, I should say.
Especially because there's still going to be another transfer portal. So
right.
Everybody's roster is going to get shaken. Or not everybody. A lot of rosters are going to get shaken up again after the spring football. So, yeah, to your point, it's very difficult.
Now, I think you can...
So, I would not be in Vegas betting the under or overs yet.
You can bet on brand, right?
Yeah.
But what brand do you believe in this year in college football outside of Kirby Smart?
Ohio State.
Okay. Ohio State, Georgia. Michigan, they look completely different. New coach, new players, different team. Texas looks pretty good based on what they did in the Big 12, but they're entering the SEC.
Yeah. And
Okay.
and they're losing a lot on defense.
Okay.
No one ever talks about what
They
they're
don't.
losing on defense. And what, both their receivers? I'm sure they got good receivers, but they're losing a lot on defense. And
Ole Miss might be, outside of Georgia, your next favorite in the SEC. Might be.
Might be. Yeah.
I'm just looking around, like the brand, like the only brand that is staying the same to me is Georgia, because Georgia, Brock Bowers gone, and we'll see how that affects them. And they always have guys going to the NFL, but that's the brand that I feel.
McConkey too, right?
That's right. But that brand I feel the best about.
Yeah,
coming back.
I think if I had to bet today on the national champion, I think I'd bet Ohio State.
Okay.
I mean, look at what
Ross Bjork for year one, baby,
and all these guys that are coming in on, the running back from Ole Miss, for instance, and some other guys. And now the question I have about Ole Miss is their quarterback. I know they got the Kansas State guy.
What do you think the key is to going on the road and beating Bama?
I think for me, it's like, let's make it a street fight. Hey man, like this team's real pretty. They're going to shoot a ton of threes. They play honestly a beautiful brand of basketball, just objectively speaking. But, are there some pretty boy aspects to what they do? And can we punch them in the mouth type thing? I'd love to kind of go in with the bully mentality and get back, especially after not hitting the offensive boards at Vanderbilt. I would love to, nothing more than for a Saturday, a big SEC showdown with a lot of people watching. Let's go punk them on the boards, and then let Wade, Boots, now Jace kind of do their thing, and then let Andy and Solo kind of roam and just be difference makers in so many ways that don't show up, in all the stats. But yeah, I mean, I think the recipe is going to continue to be the same. It's offense rebounding and it's low turnovers. And then the third caveat would be make free throws like they did at Vandy, but incorporate that into into those other two. And there's probably kind of the recipe. But yeah, I'd love to see him be the bully. And like you said, if you go 2-3 against Bama, Arkansas, and Tennessee, so you get the Arkansas payback, right? and then you split Bama and UT on the road, then you set up a big game with Carolina that can really move the needle at home.
Where are you with this team? Clendenin, you start us off.
Well, I think that the same question last year that about pitching was the season. What was it at? Mm-hmm. In the field, in the batting lineup, I feel just as good as I did last year, if not even more, because I think the talent level has continued to rise in this program. Pitching wise, it's a fresh voice. I like the guys that are back. I like the newcomers, and I think that the pitching staff is poised to do very good things. Talking about before we got on the air, but I also think when you look at this league that has 5 other teams in the top 10, you have to be good. The SEC is rising because everybody that is in the transfer portal that is of quality is looking at this league. Can I get on an SEC roster? Player after player, team after team, everyone is seeing that. You have to be better than you were 3 years ago to go as far as you want to, because this league each and every week is going to be a dogfight.
I think when we go back and examine where we were going into last season, there was reason for the confidence, especially on the position player side, but nobody could predict that Brett Minnick was going to get hurt in his first at bat of the season, right? And kind of throw all the plans that they had up in the air. Nobody thought Austin Bose would take a step back. Nobody thought Ryan Targash would take a step back. We expected some things out of guys. We didn't know that Jace Lavalette was going to take about a month and a half before he proceeded to set an A&M school record for homers and have one of the greatest freshman seasons we've ever seen. That being said, that happening last year, and I said this to you on air like a couple of weeks ago, as an analyst and you're trying to prognosticate on what's going to happen, you have to look at each team independently. So like Scotty said, when you look and examine this A&M roster and we start going through our predictions, you have to say, in terms of overall baseball talent, it is better than last year's team. Does that mean they're going to play better? Who knows? But you're making an examination on all this stuff.
I think I heard Kendall a few weeks ago talking about it, and he's right. Like, when you do this as long as some of us have, you know it when you hear it, and the words don't need to be said. And I think they're really fired up about this baseball team for good reason, and I think they know it. So, it's baseball. You're going to, win a lot of games. You're going to lose some, and it's going to take some guys. Some guys are going to quickly round into form. Some it's going to take, a little bit into the season. So, team is ever changing. We've learned that each of the last 2 seasons, but I think this one has a real chance to be Slosh's. I think it will be Slosh's best team. Whether they advance to a Final Four like his first team did, TBD. But I do think, just as far as the makeup of this baseball team, I think it's his best. I think this lineup's going to be absolutely lethal. Like, you can just go up and down. It's incredible. It's incredible. Even some of the guys that are fighting, you've got transfers that are proven at big time other places, and you've got true freshmen that could have gone to the draft, and everyone in between. And these guys are all fighting for playing time and for at bats and for starts and things. So they've quickly turned this into, I think, just an absolutely loaded roster, certainly a loaded lineup. And then, we've been talking about it, and no one's saying anything that everybody doesn't know. This team will go as far as the pitching will take it.
Billy, this is not news to our audience because you've alluded to it, you've talked about it, but Tyreek Chappelle, now there's reports today that he's officially taken his name out of the portal, but this is something we've been talking about here, so you're not surprised by it at all.
No, that's something I think I broke that a while back.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and he's been back. He's back in school, and he'll go through spring ball. He's going through team workouts right now.
All right, who's going to close it out? Don't all jump at once. Okay, go.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
You do it better. That was too quick.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Do it again.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
I do that to people. It makes me laugh. I'm sorry. That was wrong. I should have done it to you. I shouldn't have done it to you, kid. All right. We'll see you next time.